Okay, I think I'm live. I'm gonna wait until I can see it on the deal here. Okay, cool. So, hopefully I'm live. Hey guys, welcome to the community. I'm doing these videos live, as you may see with some of the technical difficulties I'm experiencing. Just because I want to make these more off the cuff, and then also I'm posting one a day, so it's just gonna make it a lot easier if I just make them live. So, yeah, these are live, and this is my first video, so I'm just saying welcome to the community. I'm gonna walk through the wedding vendor workbook, and if you guys don't know, we have a Facebook group which will be in the description, a YouTube and channel which will also be in the that's you're probably watching on this, but it'll be in like the Facebook description, all that, so you guys will be able to connect. The workbook will also be in the description, so I'm just gonna walk through the workbook. The idea, first off, the idea of this community, again off the cuff, um, is to help you plan your wedding. So if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask those in the Facebook group, comments on YouTube work, emailing me directly also works, and I'll try to get around to those. But also, if you guys just like in the Facebook group, you can comment anonymously. If you can't, let me know because I'm still figuring this stuff out. Okay, I'm working through it. And the idea is to also grow this community very, very quickly, very rapidly. So I'm going to be spending some money on paid ads and just to get the community kind of off the ground, so you guys actually have a community. So by the time I'm making this video, there is no community really, except for my YouTube subscribers. But then I will post this on the Facebook group, and I'll start working on that and getting those ads done. So that's kind of the plan. Moving forward, we're gonna see how this works. I just feel like there's a need for this kind of resource. And just so you guys know, the Facebook group, we're not going to allow just like all the vendors in, or the vendors might be able to come in, but they're not allowed to basically comment and advertise their services. And if you do see that, just flag it, and I will remove that vendor. That is like, remove that. I'll probably give them a warning and then remove them. So if you're a vendor watching this, keep that in mind, that you guys are not allowed to, like, if you want to be part of the community, talk to me. We can set up a little like podcast deal where I talk for one of the videos with you, but we are not advertising. This is for wedding planning. You're here to help the couples out with nothing expected in return. So that's kind of my approach. What I am currently going to be doing as well. I'm not going to be posting a crazy amount of ads about my services. So just so you guys know, just so the couples know, this video is for you, and it's for just making sure that you are having a hopefully as little effort as possible trying to plan your wedding. So let's kind of dive in and go over basically the document I've created. First off, I'm going to be making a lot more of these documents. So let me just cut over. I'm in this little corner here. I'm going to actually switch my corner. I don't know. That's probably a good corner, right? So yeah, here's kind of like the first document that we've kind of made. I'm hoping this kind of actually develops and gets better over time. But again, this is just kind of me just throwing something together really quick. And then if you guys got any comments, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this document, what you feel like it's missing, how it can be improved, all my spelling mistakes, which are probably a ton of them on here. But yeah, so if you guys want to send me this document, like, let's say you fill this out and you're like, I still don't know what all this means, just send it to me, and we'll look it over and give you kind of some advice. Don't like take our advice with a grain of salt kind of deal, but we have been in the wedding industry for 5 years, and we've planned our own wedding, so we can definitely help if you got any questions. So if you got any questions at all, just reach out, okay? So first off, I divided it into parts, and then there's your wedding vision. So question one is, if your wedding day could be described in 3 words, what would they be? I wanted to kind of get you guys more concise. Like when I'm making my brand stuff for our brand, I'm like unscripted. We're unscripted, we're authentic, we're adventurous. Like those words really help me narrow down my brand. So that will really hopefully really help you narrow down what you're looking for in a wedding. And that will help with narrowing down your vendors, because if they have those same words, like let's say you put down unscripted, then that would be a good photographer, videographer for you. I put joyful. I don't necessarily use joyful in any of my copy, so that would not be a good for like vintage. That's we use that all the time in our copy and stuff like that. So, or copy is basically the text we use like on our website and stuff like that. So, you see a lot of those words. Typically, that's the brand trying to define themselves, and that's how you can kind of maybe line up your wedding vision with the brands of the vendors. So these are really important. Really think about those 3 words. If you guys put more than 3 words, go ahead, but try to keep it to 3. And you guys should be able to just type in this box. So like vintage, and then just like put like oops, wow, caps lock, and okay, wow, I just really messed that up. There we go. So I've been trying to make a video at the same time, and you can like type in this box, blah 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 blah, and then it should expand too. Like if I hit enter, see it makes that bigger. So I try to make this easy to fill out because I'm always really annoyed when oh gosh, don't hit the backspace button and highlight the whole thing. I try to make it really easy to fill out because that really annoys me when I'm like editing, trying to like figure out and edit a PDF, But yeah, so the second question is, what do you want your wedding to feel like to you and your partner? So it's important maybe that you fill this out with your partner. If not, think about what your partner likes, right? So it's like, what do you want it to feel like? So you have obviously never done a wedding before, right? So this could be a little bit of a hard question to answer. I feel like if you haven't been part of a wedding, but just think about like just maybe close your eyes and just kind of vision how do you see your wedding? Okay, now how does it feel? So you can do stuff like that to maybe help. If you have to take some time, like take an hour or two where you're just like sitting there, just kind of thinking about how you want to feel. Like think about like how, like what family you want there. Think about like scenic areas. That's probably getting a little too far into the document here, but think about like do you want it to be in a forest? Do you want it to be on a beach? Like think about all those things and feel free to just type away. Just type away everything and just brain dump onto this this question here. So yeah, really important to make sure that you get that portion done because that's going to kind of lead into some of these following questions, kind of like all the questions, right? So this one is a multiple choice, so it makes it a little bit easier. What matters most to you on your wedding day? Click all that apply. So I put all these down, but feel free to just like type in your own. I don't know, blah blah blah. You can even do multiple. Just hit enter, and that will create another one. Okay. So if you feel like I just totally dropped the ball on that one, you can make your own. So feel free to do that. I kind of did this. I don't know, maybe help you guys. Maybe I should have put this question before question 2. Maybe that's a future update. Who knows? Again, I'm going to be updating this document. If money, so number 4, if money, travel, and logistics weren't a factor, what would your dream setting be? So that was actually me getting a little bit ahead of myself with question 2. But think about like beaches. There's like beaches, mountains, cities. There's like Tuscany themed, so like a place in Italy, Italy themed like venues. There's like venues that are more like Spanish oriented, and just think about that. Like, do you want really big vaulted ceilings, all that kind of stuff? So there's a lot that goes into that. Probably will actually put some examples like I just explained into that question in the future. So again, I'll be updating this document. Guys, just let me know if you got any questions. How many guests do you want to celebrate with you? So you might even just start listing off people, honestly, because we didn't realize how many guests we wanted until we started listing people off. We thought we were well under 100. We were not well under 100. Like even family, just family was like up to like, 40, 50 people. And by the time we got done, we were like way over, and then we had to narrow down to 100 or below. So for our budget, and that budget's going to be probably the next document I make. So put this down. This is your ideal. Okay, this is your, like, maybe list everybody out and then put that down. We can determine based on what you've put down here if that's feasible in the next kind of workbook. So that next workbook will be more budget related. Again, take this with a grain of salt too. I'm not by any means a planner expert, although I will probably get some planners and experts into the group or into these videos to talk as we get more questions and stuff being asked, not answered, but they will answer. So number 6, what do you hope to remember most from your wedding photos and video? So honestly, I almost took this one out. I put it down and then I almost took it out because I felt like that's kind of one-sided and sounds like just photo video vendors. But the photo and the video is actually what lives on for the longest period of time. Like when you're done with your wedding, guess what you have left? You have memories, most important, right? And then you have the photos and the videos. Maybe you have some like memorabilia from the wedding, right? So that it's left over. So that's what you have left after the wedding, and your partner. Obviously, that's actually the most important. So and family, but you know, I'm talking like more physical stuff here. But yeah, that's what you're left with after the wedding. So really thinking about it is like, what do you want to be in your video and photo? Like, do you want to have a amazing dance floor reception? Do you want to have like this, like the scenery of like the decorations being really big? Do you want the scenery of like the location to be really big? And I can tell you right now, most of the time, it's like the people captured, in my opinion. This is my opinion. But if you wanted to be like published, that's another thing too, actually. Like you want probably more like polished photos and videos, unless the publication's more of like an authentic kind of adventurous publication. So just some things to kind of think about. So once you have those first 6 questions in part 1, why did it do number 7? That should be part 2. I'm probably going to change that, like right now. Because it's part 2, right? No, that's part 2. Okay, this is question 7, I guess, but it's in blue. I might fix that. Again, this is a work in progress. So what matters most to you when working with people in each category? Vibe, style, communication, price, aesthetic, approach. Okay, so I'll walk through all these really quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this. You got any more questions? Let me know. Okay, maybe I do another video. Photographer. This one's really important that you look at style and actually how they direct. Okay, so let's say you don't want the photographer to be like overly posy. That is going to be huge because a lot of them are. So you got to make sure that they're not just going to be there overly posy. Let's say you do want it to be really posy and you want them to tell you exactly how to turn your head, tilt your chin, whatever. Then that's also really important to make sure that they know how to do that. For myself, for example, I'm not the person who's going to be like, all right, tilt your chin, put your hand over here. I'm going to be like, okay, just play this game. And like if I'm directing, like posing. And then when I'm not directing posing, I'm probably just sitting there. Oh, that's video, sorry. Sitting there, just snapping photos as I need to. Same thing with videographer. It's really important to figure out the videographer. Look at their videos because they have very different editing styles with video because now there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of like color differences. Like photography's got mainly color and then like motion blur and like how they edit photos. Videographer has that. They have audio differences. So watch their videos, see what you think of their videos if you like their style. Planner coordinator is going to be a huge part of your wedding. So you want to probably spend a lot of time. These first 3 you want to spend a lot of time with and kind of interview them, get to know them, just see what you think of them, especially the planner and the coordinator though, because they are going to run your show. You're going to make sure that they're not going to freak out in a tough situation. It's kind of the main things. But also make sure you vibe with your planner coordinator. Make sure they got the same ideals as you. There's a lot of things that go into that. And sometimes, actually, pro tip, but I'm going to put at the end of the document here, is the venue is probably the first thing you want to book. Because some of these are included. Like the coordinator might be included in your venue. So you want to get to know, when you go to the venue, you also want to get to know the planner coordinator when you're at the venue. You should be able to meet them, in my opinion. That's also going to determine the amount of guests you can have and all this other stuff. And they're going to have a lot of stuff in-house. So it's really important that you probably want to book that venue first. So unless you're like really selling like a photographer or something. But still, if you're like, you're a photographer and then you go book a venue and they're like, yeah, we only use this photographer. And if you bring in an outside vendor, they're going to charge you an extra fee. Typically the photographer is fine. Like and the videographer, they're not going to be in-house. But things like the DJ can be in-house. Even like our cake was kind of like an in-house vendor. Catering and bar can be in-house. Sometimes the officiant can even be in-house. Like the Wedgwood weddings can have officiants that are in-house. Florists typically aren't. But yeah, florists, you want to kind of figure out if you want real flowers, fake flowers, and just look at their bouquets, right? So you'll see they should have social media. If not, find photographers who have taken photos with the florist. You'll find like the tags and stuff on Instagram. Efficient, pretty important. Not crazy important. Like, let's say you have really strong vows. Well, you don't need to worry about the officiant. If you're doing like a Catholic wedding, you probably need the priest. Wait, priest, right? And then like any like Christian weddings, probably like a pastor. Like I'm Lutheran, so like a Lutheran pastor. Caterer and bar, again, sometimes is included, but make sure you try their food. I mean, that was one of our favorite parts about wedding planning. Actually, is trying the food from the caterer. But then the bar, a lot of times they're included. But if not, then you can get like little mobile bars and stuff. Don't let your imagination run wild a little bit. Sometimes there's really cool mobile bars that you can get to that I've seen. DJ/band. Now the main thing here is, do you want a DJ or do you want a band? And also with the DJ, figure out if they do their, like, if you want like this crazy after party, you probably want a DJ who mixes their own music during and not just uses Spotify. Okay. If you're just using Spotify, they're probably more of a budget DJ. Nothing wrong with that. They still kind of like MC a little bit, hopefully, at least. Those are big companies for DJs, so make sure if you're like, we don't really want the Spotify, like the big companies aren't going to be as customizable. Like I've seen DJs like can like mix their own music and they like they maybe mix it beforehand a little bit, but then they'll like have these awesome transitions in the next song. It keeps the dance floor moving. So if you have a really party-oriented crowd, you could do a DJ who mixes their own music or maybe a band. It's going to cost you a little bit extra money, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Hair and makeup. You can do trials for this too. I know my wife, Abby, did trials for hair and makeup before she booked them for the wedding. So that's maybe a good idea to just get a trial done if that's a big important factor for you. Abby doesn't wear a ton of makeup, so she just did it anyways, but she typically doesn't wear makeup, so I don't think it was a big deal for her really. But then rentals, decor, a lot of times is included in the venue too. Maybe you got to rent or get a couple things. Just get to know them. I mean, this is pretty basic, honestly. They're not gonna be a big part of wedding day besides like what decor they have, right, and what rentals they have. Attire, dress, and suit. Just make sure you get this plenty of time way out from the wedding because you got to make sure that your everything fits and you've got to get tailored. Sometimes it takes some time to tailor. For the bride, obviously, probably gonna be a bigger deal. We went through this like suit company that did like all of my groomsmen suits too, so that was really convenient. It was really easy, and for the dude, that's maybe the way to go. And it looked pretty good, I thought. And then I had to get a couple things tailored. Transportation, like, do you want people driving home afterwards? Is it like out in the middle of nowhere? You're probably gonna want like a bus or vans, or like set up designated drivers, that kind of stuff. So just thinking about that, how important is that to you? Because that will cost some money. And then if you got any other things you want, like donkeys, llamas, I've seen it all. Put those down here, because those will add up too when we get to the pricing section, right? So then I have the ranking system, the part 2, which is the vendor value ranking. So we've got photographer, and this is like, these are little drop down guys, and you can do like, oh man, my photographer is super important. I want to make sure I have the best photos in the world. Rank all your vendors here, okay? Or efficient, it's really important. The main people are going to be part of your day the most. You're going to be photographer, videographer, planner, and then obviously like DJ and band. Those are going to be huge. But then like hair and makeup lasts all day, right? So they'll be there. If you're doing like an elopement, heck, you can get hair and makeup people who come with you on the elopement if you want to get things redone. So just some things to consider. And then now that you've taken the time to really think through your vendors and what really matters to you, now select your top 3 vendors. So this is probably going to be based on the ranking system. Try to use this use this chart to help you with the ranking system maybe. So just to get you thinking, okay? This document's not a document to be like formulaic, and I don't think it should be, but this is just kind of get you thinking about things. So you're going to kind of list out your like 3 most important vendors, and again, if you want to add more stuff, you can do that. Up to you. Somehow you can, like, there's table settings on the side here normally. See, the Google table settings is never easy to get to. So somehow you can get the table settings up if you wanted to add in some more rows or whatever. If you're like a type A person like me, now it's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, so that is the worksheet. Again, welcome to community. I hope you find some value out of this. If you don't, then let me know, and I'll try to make it as valuable as possible. So that's kind of my goal. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. The pellet stove right there on, because it is a little cold still. It's in May. We're in May right now. If you're watching this later. But yeah, so that's all I've got. This was a really long video, and thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys got a ton of value out of this. So I'm going to stream, and hopefully it all came through live, right?